Yo, what's up, G fam? It's your boy Gums, and welcome back to another video. Now, it's a bit of a sad story today, and here's why. So, I got home from work, and then I read your comments on YouTube, right? And then I see a comment that says that the Linkin Park singer had passed away since 2017. Now, if you guys watch my reaction to that video, Numb of Linkin Park, I explained that I haven't listened to them in years, so I didn't know anything about them. All right. So because of that comment, it led me to go and search and check out the reason behind his passing. So in this video, that is what we'll be doing. I'll be checking out a video that someone posted say the tragic death of Linkin Park's lead singer Chester Bennington. Alright, so we're about to check this video out real quick. We're about to see what it do. Now, I really want to hear about it because this is my childhood band. Look, and it's such a twist because I didn't even know I had love for rock and metal music. I had love for these guys and I didn't even know that it was this genre of music. So now I'm here reacting to more different bands in metal music and rap music, in love with it, but I always had love for it and I didn't even know. I didn't even know. So we're about to check this out real quick, man. But before we do, don't forget to leave a like on this video and also subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And even if you don't, we still love and appreciate you every time. Alright? So let's just hop right into this, man. Let's go.
BTP Gums TV.
The world lost one of the most memorable singers of our generation on July 20th, 2017. Linkin Park's lead vocalist Chester Bennington was found dead at age 41 in his house in Palos Verdes Estates, California. It was officially stated that it was a case of self-termination by hanging. The music landscape was shaken with that news, as Chester was a loving father of 6, a living world-known rock icon, and a good friend to many people around him. Sadly, the hardships he faced during his life were well documented, both in his interviews and in his art. However, Chester Bennington was more than a struggle. He was more than just an artist and a performer. Chester was born in Phoenix, Arizona, and spent the majority of his childhood there. The times that are supposed to be the warmest, most joyful, and campiest actually played an important role in Chester's recurring issues in his later life. Bennington was a victim of SA from 7 to age 13, and Chester recollected in one of his interviews, "I started getting attacked when I was about 7 or 8. It was by a friend who was a few years older than me. It escalated from a touchy, curious, what does this thing do, into full-on crazy violations. I was getting beaten up and being forced to do things I didn't want to do. It destroyed my self-confidence. Like most people, I was too afraid to say anything. I didn't want people to think I was gay or that I was lying. It was a horrible experience. The essays continued until I was 13.
Wow, bro. Look, that's a lot for a man to face at such young age, bro. And I know he said that he didn't want to say anything, bro. I know a lot of people are scared to talk, man. That's why I keep telling y'all, man. If you see somebody who usually smile and they're not smiling, ask them how they do. Give them a hug. Tell them you love them, man. Make them feel love. Cause we don't know what people be going through. Real talk. We don't know what people be going through. You feel me?
To make matters worse, Chester's father was a detective who investigated child SA, although Chester Bennington decided not to tell him or anyone else about it, only for the reasons mentioned before, but because he was afraid of being labeled a liar. When Chester was 11, his parents divorced and he started living with his father separately from his mother. Chester had 3 siblings at the time, although 2 of them had moved away from their father's home, while his other sister was absent and rarely seen at home.
Wow.
As a police officer, his father was frequently caught in the never-ending cycle of double shifts, leaving Chester mostly ignored and often alone at home. Bennington was pretty much trapped with his own dark thoughts throughout that period of time, having experienced several extremely traumatic experiences. That was where his long and tragic relationship with alcohol, his quote, dark passenger, started. And ironically, it was the same time when Chester started to escape reality in art. He was writing a lot, and he tried to make sense of his own feelings, which frequently were frustration, anger, and sadness in his works, his poems, and his earliest songs. He also drew pictures and listened to a lot of music. Depeche Mode and the Stone Temple Pilots were among the artists that helped young Chester through his rough early years. Chester dreamed of becoming a part of the Stone Temple Pilots band, a dream he actually got to make true later on his life path. It was an awful time, Chester said about this period. I hated everybody in my family. I felt abandoned by my mom. My dad was not very emotionally stable then, and there was no one I could turn to. At least that's how my young mind felt. The only thing I wanted to do was take out everybody and run away.
Wow.
When the substances entered Bennington's life, his
Mental
escapism
health,
reached a new
bro.
low. Chester was
Talk about
constantly
this.
bullied, knocked around like a rag doll at school, according to him, by his peers for being skinny and looking different. And sadly, his passion for art wasn't enough for him to deal with yet another hardship at such a young age all on his own. I was on 11 hits of acid a day, he said. I dropped so much acid, I'm surprised I can still speak. I'd smoke a bunch of crack, do a bit of meth, and just sit there and freak out. Then I'd smoke opium to come down. I weighed 110 pounds. It was also the time when he first met up with the members of his first musical band, Grey Days. The relationship Chester had with his future bandmates he described as the first time he felt like he had a connection with anybody. He started getting some of his confidence back, which was lost due to his childhood trauma with his first real friends. The problem was that those people shared similar demons as Chester and were also living a self-destructing way of life. As Bennington described it, getting high, drinking a lot, and having sex with a lot of great girls was a pretty good escape from troubles.
Wow, bro.
With time, a way Chester used to escape his tragic past turned into a full-blown addiction. I took everything. I got really, really bad. Until I was 16, I was doing a ton of LSD and a lot of drinking. Then, when we couldn't find acid, we turned to speed because it was cheap and it worked really, really well. I got really bad, really quickly. On a normal day, my friends and I would go through an 8-ball. We were smoking it in bongs. I was doing bong hits of meth. It was ridiculous. Then we'd smoke opium to come down, or we'd take pills, or I'd drink so much that I'd poop my pants. It was not pretty.
Wow. Yo, this man really had a rough time coming up. A real rough time coming up. And people still out here complaining who have it better. A lot of people out here complaining have it better than him, and they're complaining. Oh my God, bro.
His early substance misuse also led to at least one terrifying interaction with the shady elements that this way of life often comes with. A group of criminals arrived at his house and robbed it. It wasn't the only wake-up call Chester got throughout this period of his life. He moved in with his mother when he was 17, and she was shocked to see her son in such a terrible state. Chester was forbidden from leaving the house due to his numerous addictions, which led to his alcoholism worsening progressively. He soon became a full-blown raging alcoholic. In later years, Chester admitted, the drinking would come to take over his life. In the pursuit of the better life he felt he deserved, Chester tried to take matters into his own hands and landed a job at Burger King. Through this tough period of his life, Bennington picked up a number of different odd jobs to provide for himself, but he always stayed a musician at heart. He got his first real musical experience while singing with the local band, Sean Dowdell and his friends, and was featured on the self-titled 3-track cassette released in 1993.
Wow.
It kickstarted his musical career, and he created a band of his own called Grey Days, which consisted of Chester's friends from his teenage years. The group actually became relatively successful and was a locally known act at the time. They could sell out 2,000-seater venues on their own and would open for any national act across Phoenix. They produced and published 2 albums together, and while the projects received widespread praise in their area, with unfortunately little to no public attention, Chester saw it and spoke of his first project in a very self-conscious way. We had a grungy sound, and though I'm proud of the songs, there wasn't anything super original about most of them. Bennington eventually left the band in 1998, marking a less than a year-long hiatus from his music career. During this period, he worked as an assistant at a digital services firm and got married.
Though.
In 1999, Chester was given the opportunity of a lifetime. Jeff Blue, the vice president of artists and repertoire A&R at Los Angeles Zomba Music, reached out to Chester and offered a prospect of an audition with future Linkin Park, then Zero, members. Zero's band members noticed the exceptional vocalist Chester Bennington was while he was with the Grey Days band and asked Jeff Blue to invite the talent to their group. Chester got a call from Jeff Blue on his 23rd birthday on March.
Yeah, this is what I said. Keep going, man. Keep doing your thing. A door will open one day. Not because you're not seeing it now doesn't mean that you have to give up. Keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing. A door will open, believe me.
20th, 1999, with the request to send Zero a vocal demo. Full of enthusiasm, Chester left his own birthday party to start recording and sent the demo within a day. As Chester recalled, he was very cocky and extremely confident in his skills and wasn't shying away from showing it. The group, on the other hand, was indecisive and looking for the best of the best they could find. Obviously, it was Chester who outperformed everyone who stood in line with him. The refreshed band got a new name, Hybrid Theory, and started working on their first album together. Surprisingly, the band had a negative first impression of Chester. As Mike Shinoda said,
Chester looked like a cheesy guy from an Arizona nightclub bar, but his vocals on our demo were incredible. He sang like a effing beast, the same way he sung in his vocal prime.
Despite finally getting an opportunity to pursue his dreams, Chester was going through hard times even during that period. Owning a house in Phoenix, he had to sleep on the street in Los Angeles. He described this experience as a tough one and said that he felt effing miserable. And the only thing that kept him going was knowing that they had something special going on with the band. Things got progressively better from this point, as the collaborative efforts of Chester and the band led to the huge success of their debut album. They had to change the band name to Linkin Park due to the popularity of the group Hybrid at the time, although they kept the word combination Hybrid Theory as the title of their first album. By the end of the first week after the debut album's release, Hybrid Theory had sold 47,000 copies, a number that grew in astronomical proportions with time. Linkin Park skyrocketed, and the sky was the limit for the band at the time. They started touring worldwide, receiving fans' love, enormous amounts of fame and recognition from renowned musical critics. However, the highest highs were followed by the lowest lows. Having 5 to 6 gigs a week, barely being at home, and traveling all the time, it was really difficult to maintain high morale. As Dave Farrell described it,
to be touring in front of larger and larger crowds across the world was incredible. The experience was simultaneously rewarding, but absolutely draining too. I'm glad I did it, but I never want to have to do it again.
Chester had a hard time adjusting to the fast life as a member of the hottest rock act of the early 2000s as well.
I was drinking a lot then,
he admitted.
I was smoking pot, and that segregated me from the rest of the band because they didn't smoke. I didn't feel like I was connected with the guys. We didn't feel like close friends. Also, my then wife and I were at each other's throats constantly. It was a pretty miserable experience. I felt like I was doomed to be this lonely person. I thought I would never have a fulfilling relationship with anyone. I thought the only friends I had were Jack Daniels and Mary Jane. At that time, I never performed a show completely sober. I was always smoking weed right up until the moment we went on stage. Immediately after we finished the show, I'd go and get hammered.
Wow, bro.
The band couldn't afford to stop and lose its ridiculous momentum. So Chester's path of self-destruction was only getting more and more dangerous as the schedule got busier, fans' expectations rose higher, and his personal life was becoming a mess. Chester struggled through a heavy case of substance abuse, drinking a lot of alcohol, popping pills, and being addicted to...
Yo, sorry to cut him off, but like I said before, man, the way parents treat kids can determine how they become later on. They can make decisions from the treatment they get. Pay attention to these, man. Stop trying to choose a life for your kid. Pay more attention to your kids. Show them love. Make them feel love at home so that they don't have to go out to search for it. Come on.
Weed on top of that.
I was a mess. I was falling through windows, having seizures, and going to the hospital the whole time. It was effing ridiculous. I was a total wreck.
Eventually, Chester turned to his closest ones for help, as he felt as if he had tried to do it on his own, he wouldn't have made it. Thankfully,
everyone came to his rescue.
In Chester's own words. In the meantime, he sobered up, divorced, and remarried, opening himself up to the rest of the band during emotional counseling sessions. With the help of his family and friends, Chester got an opportunity he sadly didn't get back in his childhood days. He got a second chance and ditched the substances in 2006. Throughout the next decade, Chester was constantly battling against his inner demons, but this time he wasn't alone. In 2011, he announced that he had quit drinking, noting,
"I just don't want to be that person anymore."
Chester created countless amounts of iconic songs that inspired hundreds of millions of people across the globe with Linkin Park. Although tragically, he couldn't be that guiding figure for himself. He was always open about the hardships he had to endure on his life path and shared it with the fans in his art. Later in his life, he was more and more transparent about his issues in interviews, not only in songs. In the interview for Waking Up, he said the following.
"I know that for me, when I'm inside myself, when I'm in my own head, it gets this place right here. This skull between my ears, that's a bad neighborhood, and I should not be in there alone. I can't be in there by myself. It's insane. It's crazy in here. This is a bad place for me to be by myself.
Wow,
and so when I'm in that, my whole life gets thrown
bro.
off. If I'm in there, I don't say nice things to myself. There's another Chester in there that wants to take me down.
He openly commented on what caused so many of his problems.
Mental health, guys. We review a lot of this. A lot of what he been through. We reviews in a lot of songs. Sleep Token, Spirit Box, especially Sleep Token. Real talk. We review a lot of this, man. A lot of shit that this man been through. We review on that. Real talk. And I keep telling you guys about this mental health issue, man. It's not to play with, bro.
Throughout his life. In Chester's own words, it actually was him who was the biggest issue, although there was so much more than that. In the final year of his life, Chester lost a close friend, Chris Cornell, who ended himself 2 months before Chester Bennington's death. Allegedly, he also had severe troubles with his marriage as things were falling apart during this period of time. And the latest album, One More Light, he created with LP, was met with harsh criticism from the fan base. As his wife, Talinda Bennington, later said,
"It was a lifetime of building blocks to unhealthy emotional, mental behavior, and emotional pain."
Yeah, you trying to
The sad thing is that Chester's life path was intercepted way too early by things that were completely out of his control. He was deeply traumatized as a child, and he carried that weight alone, choosing wrong turns in his early teens, getting addicted to drugs. Yet he managed to find true friends and build his own family over time, although his scars were too deep to be fully treated. He couldn't save himself, although enduring for 41 years is a testament in itself. Although he contributed to the lives of millions of teenagers, youngsters, and people of all ages really, maybe a lot of us, with his art, and that makes Chester's life a very tragic yet incredibly important story. Chester's legacy will forever live in the souls and hearts of those whom he inspired and assisted with his music, and those are memories that people will never forget, and people that are finding out about his music now. Every year, new people are finding out about Linkin Park just because of how big they were and how much of an impact they had.
Wow.
Make sure to subscribe for more.
Wow, guys, look, I keep saying this, man. Mental health, it's not to play with, but he been through a lot. No wonder his music was so good. And these are the type of people that can touch the world, that can change the world. They can help other people with what they're going through. This is exactly how I feel about Sleep Token, man. His music is so deep. He make you think about what his life was or what his life is today. Let's pray he doesn't commit suicide, man. And the music he's bringing out can help him. Because we don't know what they're going through. As he said, it was another him inside there which was wanted to defeat him. And we hear this a lot in songs, man. Sleep Token, Spirit Box, Tool. We hear this a lot in their songs. Where they've been battling with this inner person. Come on now. But look, this video has come to an end. So unfortunately, you already know. Your boy gotta go. So I'm gonna catch you in the next one, man. We out. Peace.